Again, it's Brian from FXBilliards. Today we're going to look at 5 8-ball runouts. And I'm going to give you kind of a play-by-play of what I'm thinking and what happens during each runout so that hopefully it'll help you in your decision-making in your game. So this first shot, I'm just going to kind of lob the cue ball down. I'll make the stripe ball in the corner pocket to take the stripes. Now, if you can see, the 15 and the 8 are on our left-hand side and kind of locked up there. That was going to be an insurance shot, and since I didn't get on the 14, which is what I was trying to do, I'm going to take that insurance shot now. So I'm going to play that 15 in the side. Just opened my bridge so that I could make a good touch shot on that 15 in the side. Now, I also recognize that my key ball is most likely going to be the 10 ball, which might seem strange at this point, but the point is the 11 has to go before the 10. The 9 can only go from one direction, and I don't want to have to play the 8 after playing the 9 because I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get to that side of the table, because keep in mind I still have to make the 10 and the 11 ball. So that shot, the previous shot, was inside English, so left-hand English to get up table to take a shot at this 9. And I'm going to tap this 10 ball right out of my way so that I can get on the 11. That was pretty much the only way the 11 could have been made. And then this is just kind of a pass through the ball, stay in that line. If you saw my video on moving in the line of the shot, that was a perfect example. And then my favorite shot, which is that draw shot back to the rail, and just kind of tag the 8 ball up the table with a soft shot. So it wasn't the easiest of runouts, but pretty basic stuff once you got rid of that 15 and we realized that the 8 could pass. So at this point, I'm basically going to be looking around, figure out which balls I want, and I'm looking for different problems that might need to be solved, balls that aren't going to be able to pass, balls that are going to have to be removed for other balls to make it. And even though that 11 and the 12 ball down the other end of the table look very appetizing after the break, I decided that the low balls were the best choice. Now, I got terrible position on this 7, but I'm able to throw it to the left-hand side with some right-hand English. So that works out. If you get bad position, you just got to come up with a plan B. Now, because of where the 8 ball is, most likely I'm thinking 4 ball for my key ball at this point. The 6 ball looks like a key ball to a lot of people, but I don't like key balls that are below the 8 ball. So I'm probably going to play the 8 in a corner. So I try to find key balls that are above the 8 so that I can get out with a stop shot. Here's an easy shot on the 5 in the side pocket. Sets me up perfectly for the 2 ball. I'm checking out the line right now to see what passes where. Even though the 4 was my primary key ball choice, it did not work out for me that way. So I used the 6 ball, and you can see from this shot why the 4 was a much better key ball. I had to do something pretty exotic to get position on that 8 ball to play it in the corner pocket. A lot of players are scared to hit other balls on their shots, and I do it all the time. I move balls off the rail to get an easier shot at it later. I move balls down the table. I move balls all over the place. So where most of the time it makes sense to avoid hitting other balls on the table, I find myself doing it more and more often. The better I get at the game, the more likely I am to just kind of nudge things around and get them in a position that's going to make things better for me. Looking at the table, even though the low balls look pretty good to most players, I'm going to take the high balls here. And you can see I got pretty decent position on the 10 ball. I think that 9 ball goes, but I'm going to play the 10 ball here. And because the 8 ball is in the middle of the table, just about any of those balls down table, the 11, the 9 especially, the 15 even, make decent key balls, with one problem: that 8 ball does not go everywhere. So there I use the 8 ball to stop my roll, and I can get an opportunity to play the 9, 15, 11, it looks like. And because that 11 is kind of lined up with the 8 ball, I think it'll give me a chance to come off the 11 to get position on the 8. So at this point, the 11 becomes my key ball shot. So going down table, I really get to the wrong side of this 11 ball, but I make a great shot here. I actually taught this shot in the previous video, where I taught you how to carom off of another ball to make balls in the side pocket. So it's kind of ironic that that shot came up in this video, which I filmed the very next day. And then we have a layup, play the 8 ball down in the corner pocket, and that's the rack. So you can see where your key ball may change from time to time. Sometimes you end up using it as a insurance shot. Sometimes you just get out of position and you have to play something else. So that 11 in the side was really a key shot and won the rack for me. So here again, both the high and the low seem to have problems, but I really have one relatively easy shot here, and to keep control of the table, I play that 12 ball in the corner pocket. And that 9 in the side really opens up the table for me. The couple problems that I need to deal with are 13 and the 15 on our left-hand side. So I'm working out a pattern that I think will get me to those balls, and I'm trying to get to them early, because the sooner I can get to that pattern, the sooner I can take another shot at it if I have any problem with it. So there you see me trying to line up on a 15, see if it will work, but it won't. So I'm going to have to come up with a plan B and then a plan C. And that draw shot, I know it looked like I could have scratched there, and certainly could have, but it was my only route that I could get an angle to get on that 15 ball. So I managed to hit it, but as you can see, I did not break up the entire cluster. So here I'm going to play the 15 once again with perfect position. This is a beautiful shot here, to come off of 3 rails and get on the 13 ball from the only spot it could be made from. And this is a very delicate stop shot to get on the 8 ball. So I'm actually not going to stop it. I'm going to draw it back a little bit, I believe. And so this is straight out touch. You can't teach that shot. You really need to practice it, and it's not a shot that a lot of people practice. But that little tiny draw off the rail to get position on the 8, that 8 ball could not have gone any other way. So let's look at another run out, and that previous one might have been my favorite. So here we have my standard break. I tend to break from the same spot all the time. Unless I'm not making a ball, then I move it from left to right along that head string. So we're going to be taking the low balls here for one main reason. There are fewer problems with the low balls. That ball was blocking the 12. Then we got a cluster with the 9 and the 15. Just a number of issues that I didn't want to have to deal with. So that 6 in the corner is a relatively easy shot, but the point of it was to get angles on this 2 ball so that I could break up that cluster that you see on the rail there. Well, even after hitting the cluster, I'm still locked up. Got the 10 and the 3 ball locked up. So I always say to you guys, break up your problem shots first. So I'm going to take another crack at this 5, 3, and 10 ball cluster with that shot there. Playing that in the side pocket with draw, took another shot at it. And again, and this is the great example of why you go after these problems early, because it's taken me 3 chances now to get out of that cluster. So we finally make it out. We have a pretty decent shot on the 5-ball here. We're just going to slow roll it out, get position on that 1 ball, and here's our problem. How do we get position on the 8? The 12 blocks is, the 9 and 15 block is. So here I'm going to play a little bit of zone and just come down and get a shot on the 8 ball somewhere. I have an angle here that looks like it might go in the corner pocket. So I'm going to kind of walk to the other end of the table and examine it, make sure that it actually passes that 10 ball, which is right there in the center of the table. I'm not measuring the bank. All I'm doing is seeing if the 8 ball will pass. If it would not pass, what I would have done is put some English on it to spin it off of this long rail and give it a greater angle down to that corner pocket. But it looks like it'll pass, so I take the shot. And I can take that shot with a lot of confidence because I don't have an opponent. But if I had another player against me, especially someone with some skills, that would have been a very dangerous shot. I probably would have lost a rack from there. Okay, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you don't, you're missing some content. And we want to have all of you as subscribers and part of our community at FX Billiards. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.